Putting their 11th game winning streak on the line, the IUP Crimson Hawks welcome the Edinboro Fighting Scots for a big-time Saturday night showdown in the PSAC West. We've got IUP men's basketball right around the bend here on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. Now working one-on-one in the lane. High archers up and in. The 23's matched up. That's a deep three with the shot clock winding down. Missed everything. Shot clock violation. Give the ball to IUP.
Loose hands.
Norfleet creates contact, steps back and drills it from 15. Gets to go here in the first half. Ubede working inside, puts it up and in. It's 26-25 Mercyhurst, and they'll add to it there. That's Gene Onana, works it to Brandon Spain. He'll pull up and miss the shot. Tevin Hanner soars in for the rebound and gets it to go. Kobo guarding the ball. Genefuja turns and lets it go. No good, but the follow's up and in, and Mercyhurst beats the buzzer. Here is Damon Jones. That ball is up to Lombardi. That's a long free ball. He's got it. That was perfect. Dante Lombardi.
Convert. Tight ball game.
Genefuja working in the lane, going to work on CJ Rudisil. Lombardi, shot fake. He's going to try it again, and he hits it this time. Dante Lombardi was up a shot. It's no good. IUP working back quickly. Spain ahead, all the way to the cup. Brandon Spain. Genefuja driving baseline, plows over Daddy and gets the shot to go. We've got a tight one here. Norfleet for three. It's in and out. Kobo's there for the follow.
Nice job by Kobo.
Approaching 30 seconds. Williams for three. Too strong. Norfleet has it. Shot clock is turned off. The Crimson Hawks can control. If you're IUP, you don't want to give Mercyhurst the ball back in regulation at all.
And Coach Lombardi just mouthed he's not going to call a timeout. He's going to let Norfleet run the show here. Isolation looks like one-on-one against Williams.
Mercyhurst sends a double team. Kobo hands off to Norfleet. Down to 8 in the game. Tied up at 66. Norfleet. Spain's open. Shot fake. He hits it. He's got it! Brandon Spain steps in from 3. Mercyhurst puts it up. Mercyhurst looking inbound. Williams turns and fires for the win. No good. IUP has won 11 straight games in dramatic fashion. Crimson Hawks 68, Mercyhurst 66, and what a ball game this Wednesday night.
Can you walk me through the play, Brandon?
We just were going ball screen to B, and it was really, we wanted him to get the shot, but they overplayed, doubled him, which I expected. I just stayed in the corner. He trusted his teammates, made a pass. I just forced the guy into a closeout. Well, he actually made the play and forced him into a closeout. I pumped, got to my one-dribble pull-up, and it went in, and I'm just blessed, man.
That makes 11 straight wins for you guys. What's been the secret to your success?
This team just has a lot of resilience, man. We don't give up. We work every day in practice. We just try to get better every day. We don't really focus on the win streak. Just we want to get better every day, and that's our focus.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Good game.
But the way this team has responded, who knows what can happen, huh?
Yeah, well, Edinboro's a good team. There's not a lot that separates the top in this league, and I think there's a lot of depth in the conference, and we have a lot of tough games to go yet. I'm not even thinking about the finish line, Jack, or how many games we're up. Or I really, it doesn't. We don't talk about the standings with the players, and we're here and we're there. We just tomorrow we'll talk about like what we always do, win or lose. We're going to talk about what we needed to do better, what we did well, and we got to continue to do, and who do we have to get ready for next. Hopefully Tev will be healthy. If not, that's going to be a touchy situation. But maybe Brandon will have to play. Brandon Norfleet will have to move over to a four-man also. Okay, we wouldn't want that to happen. But hey, it wouldn't surprise me if this team's able to adjust. In Tev's absence also.
And with that, we welcome you into the Crimson Hawks Sports Network pregame show. So happy you've joined us for the second game of our doubleheader here this evening, IUP in Edinboro. And we're so happy to welcome back Jake DeLuca down here with us, color commentator. And Jake, you had a chance to talk with Brandon Spain. Look back on a tremendous game against Mercyhurst, many calling it the game of the year in the PSAC. But for the IUP Crimson Hawks, they've got to look ahead here. 11 straight victories, putting it on the line against Edinboro here tonight. If IUP wants to have success, they got to look at Brandon Norfleet. He's their senior leader, and he's our player to watch here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. He is our player to watch tonight. He's #1 in the PSAC in scoring with 22.6 points per game. 7 straight games with 20-plus points, and he shoots the ball around 49% from the field and 80% from the free throw line. So overall, very effective player. Brandon Norfleet is the life and soul of this team, and I mean, they live and die by Brandon Norfleet.
Brandon Norfleet also an all-PSAC West selection. We've got 3 of the top 5 players as far as scoring going at it here tonight. The #2 leading scorer in the PSAC is none other than Edinboro's Jamin Mason. He's our player to watch for the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second time where we've had #1 and #2 in the PSAC in scoring in the same building. I mean, Mason was named the D2 Bulletin Player of the Month in January. He's averaging 21.5 points per game. And last game against Slippery Rock in a losing effort, he put up 27 points.
Jamin Mason's season high is 39 points. Brandon Norfleet's season high is 38 points. We've got 2 guys who can really score with the basketball. Let's take a look at this game a little bit more in depth, go with our storylines here for tonight's game, and you will look and see that IUP really does a great job against Edinboro here at home.
Yeah, I mean, IUP has 8 straight wins versus Edinboro, 8-game home winning streak. Edinboro is 0-5 at the KCAC, and Lombardi is 14-7 versus Edinboro.
It's going to send it down to the floor now for our national anthem. We'll go down to the public address announce voice, Bill Otto.
Thomas More Church Choir.
The national anthem here at the KCAC, and now it's time to go back courtside to Bill Otto. He's got your starting lineups.
The Kowalczyk Convention and Athletic Complex for this evening's game, featuring the Edinboro Fighting Scots and your IUP Crimson Hawks. And now for the U92.5 FM starting lineups. First for Edinboro, under head coach Pat Cleary, assisted by Chris Bess. From Edinboro, a sophomore at 6'3", number 5, Jamin Mason. A 6'3" sophomore from Erie, number 23, Michael Beck. A 6'6" junior from Euclid, Ohio, wearing number 4, Art Cook. From Pittsburgh, a senior at 6'2", number 2, Andre Wade Chapman. And from Maple Heights, Ohio, a senior at 6'8", number 13, Tommy Scales. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your IUP Crimson Hawks, under head coach Joe Lombardi, with Joey Candons and Chuck Harris. From the Canary Islands in Spain, a freshman at 6'8", number 50, Cobo Diaz. A 6'6" sophomore from Pittsburgh, number 22, C.J. Rudisill. A sophomore at 6'1", from Toledo, Ohio, number 1, Anthony Glover. A 5'10" junior from Baltimore, number 3, Brandon Spain. And a 6'5" senior from Virginia Beach, number 23, Brandon Norfleet.
Starting lineups at the KCAC. Bill Otto did a nice job. Jake DeLuca, Josh Hill, Tegan Treckengoss joining you here tonight for the second game of our doubleheader. The IUP women picked up a big victory, Jake. Now it's time for the men to take the floor. 3 of the top 5 scorers in the PSAC on the floor here tonight.
Yeah, this is the second time that we've seen 2 top 5 scorers. There are two of the top scorers here in the KCAC. We saw Cameron Taylor earlier in the year as Seton Hill visited, and now today we have another treat.
Brandon Norfleet, Cameron Taylor starting lineups. You heard them live. We'll go over them real quick once again. Andre Wade Chapman, Art Cook, Jamin Mason, Tommy Scales, and Michael Beck. You see how these teams compare statistically, and both teams score a lot, and IUP really has the edge in the rebounding margin. You see Edinboro negative in rebounding, so we'll see if that comes into play. That certainly was big for the women. CJ Rudisill ready to get us going with Tommy Scales. We're underway. It's IUP men's basketball on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. Cobo Diaz comes away. He's going to start the game off with the 3 and knock it down. Cobo for 3.
Well, that was kind of a frantic pace there to start the game. I mean, the tip-off was initially won by Edinboro, but IUP was able to come up with it, and then Brandon Norfleet just kicks it to Cobo in the corner there for an easy 3.
We're going to roll it a 2-pointer here. It's a travel call. Give the ball to IUP, and there's a nice energy in this building right now. Fans are fired up, and it's really becoming that go-to time in basketball. Early February, heading into March, the best part of the season if you're a basketball fan.
Yeah, I mean, especially IUP coming off of, you know, they're playing top competition here.
I mentioned they're running the PSAC West Gauntlet. Had Mercyhurst coming in here a couple of nights ago. Now Edinboro's in town. Norfleet traveled with the basketball. Turnover on IUP. So the teams trade travels here early on, and what a matchup we have for you. Tevin Hanner was injured in the last game for IUP. He had that knee injury, and he is working himself out on the bike right now. He was in shoot-around, I hear, and may be okay to go, but Tevin Hanner not in the starting lineup, working his knee out on this bike as we speak. Here's Jamin Mason inside to Scales. Turnaround on Rudisill, gets it up and in.
Just to touch a little bit on Hanner, he looked really good in shoot-around. He was jumping around, and he had injured his right knee and his right elbow, but at shoot-around he was hopping around, didn't show any visible limp. I'm sure he would love to be in this game.
Cobo has a lane to the basket and sends it in with a 2-handed rim racker.
Just a defensive breakdown. It looked like they both followed Brandon Norfleet and left Cobo open lane for the dunk.
So for Edinboro, Jamin Mason, we mentioned him, the second leading scorer in the PSAC. Andre Wade Chapman, number 2 in red, is no slouch himself. He's 4th in the PSAC, but right now, Tommy Scales is having his way underneath. 4 points for Scales already.
CJ Rudisill did a good job not drawing a foul on that play, but can't defend it much better than that.
Norfleet, double team, and he kicks it underneath. Cobo Diaz lays it up and in.
3 straight baskets to start off the game for Cobo.
And Daddy Ubede is going to come off the bench. That's what IUP does. Ubede typically not in the starting lineup, comes off the bench for IUP. He's been incredibly efficient. Scales is now double teamed. Mason working in the lane, kicks it to Andre Wade Chapman. Step back, Jay for Chapman's no good. Long board controlled. Here's Mason, the sophomore, kicks it. Scales up and in, counted, and the foul. What a find by Jamon Mason to Tommy Scales.
Yeah, already we're seeing the big men, a big part of the game plan early on for both of these teams.
Substitutions on the floor. Daddy Ubede set to check in for IUP as he does come in. And Quinley Ya, the sophomore out of Jamestown, New York, makes his first appearance for the Fighting Scots.
CJ Rudisell checking out. He got scored on 2 times here in the opening possessions.
Scales completes the 3-point play. So the big men have really got it started right. Cobo Diaz, all 6 points for IUP. And Scales, all 7 points for Edinboro. Norfleet, jumper's good. He's silky smooth. Brandon Norfleet, leading scorer in the PSAC.
Nice quick release, and it doesn't really matter if you have a hand in his face.
We did talk about the 2 guards and Andre Wade Chapman and Jamon Mason. He controls the ball right now. Mason does. Pass is stolen away by Glover, and he's fouled. Tommy Scales, 3rd on the team in scoring, averaging 12 points a game for Edinboro. So they get it done with their guards. They have an inside presence as well. One of the main reasons the Fighting Scots have a winning record of 12-8 this season.
They're very similar to IUP and what IUP tries to do. You know, most of their scoring coming from their guards, but you have players like Cobo Diaz, Daddy Ubede, and CJ Rudisill that can add a little complementary scoring from the inside. And Cobo can shoot from outside too.
Norfleet creates contact, hits the step back right over Wade Chapman, and I don't know how you defend it. He's victimized almost every team we've seen him play against with that same move.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really hard to stop. He's #1 in the PSAC in scoring for a reason, you know. He's very good at what he does.
Loose ball and a pinball of the loose ball. IUP comes out with the ball. Norfleet kicked it to Glover. Inside, it's Daddy Ubede going to work. Shot fake, jump stop, and we've got a whistle. Whistle and a foul call as Daddy Ubede was working in the low post.
And maybe the most impressive part of Daddy Ubede's game is he's really come into his own this season, is he's really worked on his footwork. I saw him working at shoot around, and he was doing up and unders, you know, fakes to the left and right, hooks, fadeaways. He's really trying to become a good post player.
Getting those repetitions, that's huge. Dante Lombardi comes into the game and turns it over for IUP. It's going to be turnover number 2 on the night. 10-7 early on in the pace so far has been incredible.
It's kind of what we expected coming in here. Both of these teams averaging around the same amount of points, maybe only half a point separating them, as that's off target.
Mason missed the 3. Teams do feel like they're beginning to settle in a little bit here. Ubede working near block. Spin move, near side, puts it up and in with the left hand. And all that work and shoot around is paying off. Daddy Ubede, so efficient for IUP.
And he's usually much stronger than whoever he's up against. He brings a lot of strength to that big man position.
Ubede 2nd on the team in scoring, and he doesn't have a ton of minutes. Inside, foul call as Ubede blocked the shot of Quinley Ya. We have a stoppage of play for our first media timeout of the evening. It's a 12-7 game. We're going to take a break here on IUP TV. We're streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
I fell in love with the campus, with the people, with my IUP life. See it for yourself. Visit us. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Welcome back to the Crimson Hawk Sports Network. Jake, we mentioned it in our pregame show, and there you see it graphically. 3 of the top 5 scorers in the PSAC on the same floor tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, Edinboro has 2 of the top 5 here, and Henry Wade Chapman and Jamon Mason. So a lot of scoring from the guard position to happen here tonight. Brandon Norfleet obviously leads all with 22.6 points per game.
And we mentioned about the inside presence of Tommy Scales. Right now, the other big man coming off the bench for Edinboro is Quinley Yaw. He's at the foul line, and he drills his first shot. Quinley Yaw averaging 3.6 points per game. He's 63% at the foul line, and he's trying to cut into this deficit for Edinboro. He can't do it. Tevin Hanner into the game for IUP, and he secures the rebound. So
good to see Tevin Hanner work his way into the game early.
Yeah, and you saw in our pregame show, head coach Joe Lombardi talked about the challenges that would be presented to IUP if Tevin Hanner wasn't available. And right now, they don't have to deal with that. Foul call as Ubede was working on the near side.
He's usually the one that starts there. Today, Kobo made the start, and he worked his way in off the bench, did Hanner.
Kobo had a great start to the game for IUP.
Started off with the first 3 buckets for IUP.
Lombardi controlling to Norfleet. He's guarded by Quinley Yaw. Norfleet in the lane, bowls over a man. That's an offensive foul. And that was Michael Beck, who was right there to take the contact, the sophomore out of Erie, Pennsylvania.
He did a good job of setting his feet and getting in the way of Norfleet. That's one way to stop Brandon.
True. Good point. Crimson Hawks, 11 straight victories. They're looking for number 12 tonight here against Edinboro. Mason straightaway 3 is in. Shame on Mason.
It's a deep 3 there.
Ubede kicks to Glover. High-low entry to Norfleet. One-on-one against Wade Chapman. Norfleet spinning and kicks. Baseline feed. Hanner surveys his options, works it, back out. So IUP will reset. 5 on the shot clock. They need to get something going. Norfleet steps back for 3, and he's got it!
He just makes it look so easy. Makes it look so easy, Josh.
And he claps a little bit and taunts Andre Wade Chapman. A little jawing going on underneath. 2 guys matched up against each other. Quinley Yaw for 2.
Just trading buckets early off.
IUP up by 2. Under 14 minutes to play here in this first half. IUP women victorious tonight. IUP looking for a clean sweep. Lombardi straightaway 3. Around and down it goes.
Tried to draw the foul there, but no luck. Still got the 3.
Quinley Yaw stolen away. That's Anthony Glover. He's pushing the pace for IUP. Open near side. Lombardi will try it again. That's a little bit off that time. Ubede's there for the follow. He's fouled on the way up. Daddy Ubede heading to the line for IUP. Ubede second on the team in scoring, as we mentioned. One other player in double figures for IUP is set to check into the game. That is, or check that he's in the game right now. Number 1 is Anthony Glover. Averages 10.3 per game. Ubede 68% at the foul line. Brandon Spain checks in for Glover. And CJ Rudisil ready to check in now for IUP as well.
Yeah, that 68% is a good bit down from his career numbers where he averages 75% from the line. So having his woes from the charity stripe this year is Daddy Ubede.
Ubede checking out. CJ Rudisil in for IUP. There's Ubede. Incredibly efficient. It's amazing to watch him go to work, and you saw what he does at shoot around, Jake. I think that's a big part of why he has so much success. Around and out, 3 balls up and down for Michael Beck. Great defense by Norfleet. Beck hit the floor, but knocked the 3 ball down regardless.
Yeah, you said it about Ubede. He's averaging around 72% from the field this season, around 71.9, so very effective from the field.
Norfleet turns around off the front of the rim. Spain is there for the offensive board. Got a whistle and a foul call. away from the basketball, it
Yeah,
appears.
it looks like Dante Lombardi got caught up with Jamon Mason.
John Felker, Doug Costain, and Billy Brooks are our officials this evening. And they're going to have a meeting at the media table.
Looks like Hanner's. No, never mind.
Nothing official yet. Now the officials are going to confer. Maybe an issue with the score, or who knows? We're going to head back over.
We need Andrew Pfister. Andrew Pfister to report to the promotion table. Over by the Colonial Mitsubishi.
Well,
Andrew Pfister.
Not sure we got an explanation from that one.
I don't think the officials are going to come up here and tell us what's going on either, so we'll just leave it at that. Another whistle as Darian Robinson came in. He's a 6'9" senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a true center for the Fighting Scots, which you don't see a ton in the PSAC, the center position. It's kind of a lost art here in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, really moving towards more small ball in all walks of basketball. I mean, that's kind of the shift in culture, is we just want to see a bunch of guys who can run around and score the ball.
But like Brandon Norfleet,
he
he can score the ball with the best of them. Another 3 ball for Norfleet. He's in double figures already.
It didn't take long at all.
Shots missed, rebound.
And this
lost.
is whenever Norfleet has his best games, is whenever he's going up against, you know, prime-time competition, top scorers, all the same. He wants to show that, hey, I'm better than these guys.
Jalen Head comes in, the junior from Cleveland, Ohio. He's number 25 in red. He's checked into the game for the first time tonight. And here's Head, open on the inbounds. He puts it up and in. Lombardi was guarding him on the inbounds and lost his man there. So here's Norfleet as we approach 12 minutes in the first half. He was bumped off his leg. It's going to Edinboro. Turnover, and Brandon Norfleet doesn't agree.
Yeah, he lost control there. Was looking for a foul on the Edinboro big man. Looked like Darian Robinson might have caught him with an elbow. But no call.
Dante Lombardi picks up the foul call. We're going to step out for just a moment here on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network. It's a 23-18 IUP advantage. We'll be back with more men's basketball action here on IUP TV. We're streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
All your professors, all of them, they know that all it takes is one dreamer with passion, one person, and they hope in each of you that you might be that one who makes a longer lasting light bulb, who writes music for the ages, who reaches into the mind and discovers a new star, and who can change the world of a 5th grader. We're gathered here to hope in you.
Welcome back to the Crimson Hawk Sports Network, and fans, whether you're at home or on the road in Indiana or across the country, you can stream IUP basketball on BacklightTV.com. The IUP Center for Media Production and Research has you covered with each and every home basketball game for the remainder of the season. So log on to BacklightTV.com for your coverage of Crimson Hawks basketball. And Jake, after this game, there's only one more home regular season game for the IUP Crimson Hawks. This season's come and go so quickly.
Yeah, it's really winding down, and I think IUP has to be happy with where they're at this year, especially after losing so much senior leadership from their title team last year.
And getting off to a rocky start this season, too. They've really catapulted themselves back to where they are really accustomed to being.
Yeah, 11 straight wins. You know, looking for 12 here tonight. IUP is really on a roll. I mean, the most wins that they've had since their 2013 and 14 season, where they rattled off 14 in a row.
Offensive foul called, and the bench will get the celebration ready.
Toro, ole.
Great work. Jalen Head picked up the foul call, the junior. A little bit out of control there for Edinboro. 23-18 IUP on top. We're approaching the midway point of the first half. here on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. Norfleet controlling the basketball right now. Slings it far corner to Spain. Spain in the lane, carves inside, lays it up and in with the left hand.
Yeah, definite mismatch there. You had Michael Beck, the forward, guarding Spain, who just too quick for him.
We've seen Brandon Spain's athleticism, and he made a big play in that Mercyhurst game. You saw it on our pregame show, driving all the way and getting that layup. And of course, well, the game-winning shot was kind of important too, I suppose.
Oh, just a little bit.
Hanner controlling the ball. He's guarded by Quinley Yaw. Hanner works inside and scores, and that's money for Tevin Hanner.
A difficult shot there for Hanner, but he gets it to go.
Jamin Mason running the points. His father also played basketball at Edinboro. A pretty successful player as well. Beck driving inside and is going to go to the line as Rudisil is called for the block.
Tried to set his feet, but just not quick enough.
Head coach Joe Lombardi for the IUP Crimson Hawks leading the way. He's the winningest coach in program history. On the Edinboro Fighting Scots side of things, a relatively new head coach, but a man that has taken the program and turned it around. And Pat Cleary, he's in his third season, got a 36-35 record.
And Kobo Diaz and Daddy Ubede just checked in the game for Hanner and Rudisil. Edinboro, a couple substitutions as well.
Michael Beck at the line, and he makes it. So Beck will check out here as Sheldon Brogdon replaces him. On the floor right now for the Fighting Scots, it's Mason, Scales, Anderson, Sheldon Brogdon, and Jalen Head. Number 3, Mikhail Anderson, the junior out of Las Vegas. Norfleet kicks it far side to Glover. So IUP will reset as Spain yo-yos between the circles. Bounce pass to Diaz. He lost it momentarily, gains it back and finds Glover. Glover kicks it right side. Kobo back out. Glover straightaway 3 off the front of the rim. Nice rebound by Mason, but the ball is almost stolen away and Spain forces a tie-up. Give the ball to Edinboro, but unreal effort by Brandon Spain to not quit on the play.
Yeah, Brandon Spain always gives it 110% when he's out on the field, and he almost came out there, got a steal.
Full court press for IUP. Trapping full court press, and they get a turnover off of it.
Tried to bounce it off of Norfleet's leg, but it just didn't go.
Glover ahead, lays it up and in.
Making up for that missed 3 with a layup right there.
So not only do the IUP Crimson Hawks get the steal on the press, they turn it into points in transition. Mason, right side. Nice pass underneath, laying it up and in is Mikhail Anderson. Great find by Jalen Head there to find the open Anderson underneath.
Yeah, you bet he tried to set a charge there, but that put him out of position and made Edinboro get the easy bucket.
Glover works it to the far elbow. Daddy Ubede works inside. And that basket is good. Counted and the foul. Whistle was a little early. Wanted to make sure they counted the basket, and indeed they do. So hoop and harm for Ubede.
Yeah, Ubede's off to a pretty good start here. 2 for 2 from the field, 6 points, 2 from the line also.
Looking to add to it here in a 31-22 game. 8:35 remaining in this one. Ubede misses, and Edinboro will have it. IUP back to their full court press. Mason swings it, travel call. IUP gets another turnover off of that press. And Jalen Head's been a little bit victimized by this press of IUP. He has not really fared well against it in a couple of tries.
That's travel call number 2 on him for tonight. And I mean, that's what a good press does. It gets in your head and it makes you overthink things. And
man-to-man defense for IUP. Here is Norfleet rising in fire. No good. Spain's there for the follow. He can't convert. Ubede can't convert, but Cobo does.
Pretty good game for Cobo as well, as he started off the game with the first 3 field goals and now adds another one.
Head to Mason. Jamin Mason will reset the offense. Jalen Head to Scales, steps into the jumper, no good. Cobo controls the rebound, finds Glover, and here comes IUP countering back. Spain jump stop in the lane, he was short with that one.
Yeah, kind of forced that one up, couldn't control his body and just had to put something up.
We're going to take a break. I think these guys need it running up and down the court. What a pace in this one. 33-22, Crimson Hawks up by 11. We'll be back with more IUP men's basketball here on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network, streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere, programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Think of the NCAA as a marching band. We wouldn't stop with halftime. We'd be full-time, celebrating student athletes in everything they do. Okay, so don't think of us as a marching band. Think of us as a spirit squad. Well, just know we're always there for student athletes.
Welcome back. Let's talk a little bit more about the Edinboro Fighting Scots. Jake, under head coach Pat Cleary.
Yeah, a few things to know about Edinboro is they're 12-8 this season. That's 3rd best in the PSAC West with a 6-3 road record. Jamon Mason, 2nd in the PSAC with 21.5 points per game, and his teammate Henry Wade Chapman not far behind with 20 points per game. That's best for 2nd and 4th in the PSAC in scoring.
Andre Wade Chapman's been held scoreless tonight, and Jamin Mason only has 3 points.
Yeah, not really what we expected going into this game. It's really been kind of a battle of the bigs. Brandon Norfleet, of course, doing his thing, but you know, Cobo Diaz and Daddy Ubede for IUP, very important early on, and then you have Beck and Scales doing the work for Edinboro.
Absolutely. Edinboro working with the ball right now. Pass is stolen away. Anderson threw it away, and Glover adds another steal to his resume. Great at taking the ball away from the opponents is Anthony Glover. Here is Norfleet to Cobo. Diaz set his feet for a moment. Yes, he did. Norfleet, catch and shoot off the front of the rim. Ball tipped around, and it will go to Edinboro. Mason running the show. Jamin Mason, you can just tell he's got a lot of ability and a lot of confidence for a redshirt sophomore.
And he says good things for the future of Edinboro, him being only a sophomore and being 2nd in the PSAC.
3 balls missed that time for Mason. Glover will counter it back. Steps just inside the arc, missed the shot. Rebound to Edinboro. Mason comes out of there with the loose ball. Driving inside and kicking. Beck will try for 3. He's got it. That's Michael Beck, the sophomore from Erie, Pennsylvania. Beck with 8 points.
Showing us the ability there to take it outside and score a la Cobo Diaz. Maybe you have a big man that can shoot from 3. It really does open up a lot of things for your basketball team.
Tevin Hanner working inside and scoring for IUP. Tevin Hanner, a knee-on-knee collision last Wednesday night, forced him out of action for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, he took his lumps last game. Also had an elbow injury, but he came back from that one. The knee later in that game was the one that kept him out. But
Glover countering back. We've got a timeout on the floor as Anthony Glover extends the IUP lead to 12. Edinboro will take a timeout and take a look at IUP working in transition, Jake.
Yeah, that's 4 points now for Glover, and he also has 4 steals to his credit as well. So just really great hands, and he always does a good job defending against the #1 guard.
5:33 remaining here in the first half. Coming up before the second half, we will hear from head coach Joe Lombardi. Teagan will have a chance to talk with the coach and see Norm getting his exercise tonight. That's a good thing. It's a great day outside, but he decides to get his work in tonight.
Hey, Norm's trying to keep the pace that these guys are keeping out on the court. Stopped by and said hello earlier today whenever we were broadcasting
it was great.
The women's game.
Yeah, it was a great visit. The IUP Crimson Hawks have already clinched a tournament berth with their 11 straight victories. They're 17-5 overall. Edinboro's in third place in the PSAC West, 12-8. They're 3 games behind IUP for first place, so they really need this one. It's not a must-win, but it really would be good for them, still mathematically alive to win the PSAC Western Division.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of trailing here. They're trailing here by 12, and they've been on a bit of a skid, losing 2 in a row. They would like to break that and not make it 3, but right now down by 10 early on against IUP.
Glover working to Dante Lombardi. So IUP will slow it down. It has been a great pace. We've seen a lot of transition basketball and some great athleticism. Norfleet looked for Ubede on the roll, but the pass didn't connect. Back ahead is Edinboro's Mikhail Anderson, and he will go to the line.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there between Ubede and Norfleet there, as Norfleet kind of shrugged his shoulders, expected Ubede to be somewhere else, as we see Lombardi getting into it with one of the referees, as he generally does in a game.
Mikhail Anderson at the line.
They're still arguing over there. It's a long-winded conversation between the coach and the referee. Boy, if I could be a fly on the wall there.
When we're up here, we don't get to hear the greatness downstairs. We're perched high up in the Hawks' nest. Glover to Norfleet. Left side, Lombardi's open for 3. No good. Hanner saves it nicely to Norfleet. He's going to wheel inside, blocking foul.
It looked to me like he set his feet
yeah,
there. I
boy,
thought that was gonna be a charge.
Quinley Yaw really established his position. The referees don't give him the call, however. Brandon Norfleet's going to go to the line as Brandon Spain checks back in for IUP, or he will here after this foul shot. Kobo's going to join Spain into the game. 4:28 to go in the first half. IUP up 37-29. IUP with a big win over Mercyhurst last Wednesday. Last meeting for the Crimson Hawks, they took down Edinboro 82-74. And for Edinboro last time out, they lost to Slippery Rock. Tried to rally and make it happen, but the rally came up just short. Edinboro had it at 71-70 with under 2 minutes to play, but ended up falling 79-74. So Fighting Scots are looking to get back on track tonight.
Slippery Rock's been doing their best job to play the spoiler as of late. Edinboro is a test to that. It's like a timeout called here.
We're gonna have a foul call on the floor. Daddy Ubede. So Edinboro will get the ball. Andre Wade Chapman still scoreless in this first half. Jamin Mason with 3 points.
And these guys come in averaging 20 points for Chapman and then 21.5 for Mason, and to hold them to 0 and 3 points respectively is really impressive.
Mason will get a chance to add to it here with a couple of free throw attempts. Mason 1 of 3 from downtown so far tonight. He hasn't been to the line yet this evening.
1 of 5 overall too, only shooting 20% overall from the field. Not the ideal start for the #2 scorer in the PSAC.
Mason converts on the foul shot. Anthony Glover in for Spain with 4 minutes exactly here in this first half. It's a 7-point IUP advantage. Game number 2 of our doubleheader this evening. Mason converts.
IUP jumped out to an early double-digit lead, but Edinboro doing their best to fight back, and now IUP only leads by 6.
Dante Lombardi bounces to Glover. He's open for 3, and he takes it. Anthony Glover took the space available to him and made Edinboro pay that time.
Starting to heat up a little bit. Glover's now 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3.
Wade Chapman, offensive foul. Andre Wade Chapman gave the old forearm shiver. We're going to take a break. Final media timeout of the first half comes at the 3:29 mark. IUP has a 9-point edge. Look to expand upon it when we return on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network. We're streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
The brain is a remarkable organ. It's almost infinite in its capacity. Its ability to reach its full potential is limited by only one thing: the heart. For if the heart isn't fully engaged in what you're doing, if you have no drive, no passion, the brain will simply go through the motions. Find your success at Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Guys, on your mark.
You roll out at the dawning of the day. Heart racing as you make your little getaway. But there's always a scar. When you fall down, we lose our way. We get back up again. It's never too late to get back up again. And one day you won't shine again. You may be knocked down, but not out forever. Lose our way. We get back up again. It's never too late to get back up again. And one day.
Welcome back, and fans, you can stay connected with your IUP Crimson Hawks by logging on to IUPathletics.com. Get scores, schedules, game stories, live stats, and much more on your go-to source for IUP basketball, IUPathletics.com. Josh Hill, Jake DeLuca, Tegan Schreckengoss joining you here tonight. Director is Curtis Brown. Working hard here on a 9-point IUP advantage.
Pretty high scoring first half here. IUP already has 40 points, Edinboro with 31.
Lombardi's shot was knocked away, and Edinboro will counter back with Mikhail Anderson in the lane. Can't finish. Rebound to Kobo. Now IUP will work it back. Lombardi in the lane, kicks. Norfleet steps into a 3. Too strong. Long rebound, sails out of bounds. It will go to Edinboro, but good looking transition for the Crimson Hawks. Norfleet was open.
Yeah, you got to take that shot every time. You have to make that pass to Norfleet.
Tevin Hanner flies in to check in for Daddy Ubede. And he's feeling better because he soared in from the bench.
Oh, yeah, he's always eager. He's always, celebrating whenever he makes a dunk, or just a very jubilant guy.
Mason matched up against Brandon Norfleet right now. Here's Beck. It's Michael Beck. Versatile player for Edinboro. Turnaround shots no good for Anderson.
Yeah, Beck and Kobo have kind of been going back and forth all game long so far.
Glover knocks down the long ball.
And there he is. I was telling you before the game that Glover looked really hot at shoot-around today. And, of course, there's a couple hours between shoot-around and the game, and anything can happen there. But finding his stroke early, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Already has 10 points and 4 steals. Sprinkling a couple assists there, too.
Great scoring output. We've got a foul call, and they're going to call a block. Wow. Okay. They have a better angle than we do. IUP bench telling us where they think the ball should go.
There's been some questionable calls so far in this game, but
that way, yeah, that's right, that way. IUP leads by 12. Jamin Mason will have a chance to slice into the lead right now with a couple of free throws. That is the 10th team foul for the Crimson Hawks. Edinboro has 9, so team shooting the remainder of the half.
It's a fast and chippy game so far.
Mason knocks it down. Jamin Mason good on the free throws, and Mason has worked his scoring average up to 7. He's got 7 points in this game. 4 of 4 at the foul line.
You have to make those shots from the charity stripe if you want to get back into this game. As Glover knocks down another 3.
Anthony Glover. Feeling good. 13 points for Anthony Glover. Now a game high. Mason inside. Quinley Yaw off the glass and in. The old give and go works to perfection that time.
That's 7 points off the bench for Quinley Yaw.
Hanner bounces. Glover's going to try it again. Not that time.
Same spot as the other 2.
Norfleet knocked the ball away momentarily, but Edinboro gains it back, and Spain takes off. He's going to work in transition and score.
Yeah, we have seen Brandon Spain dunk before. 5'10", but he has hops.
Great athlete for IUP. Showed off his speed that time. Under a minute to play in the first half. Quinley Yaw controlling. He's guarded by Hanner. Bounces to Mason. Bowls over a man. That's an offensive foul. Jamin Mason maybe a little bit frustrated after this subpar first half for him. 7 points, but 4 of them have come at the line.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with that one. That elbow was very blatant.
Greg Bearer into the basketball game for IUP. He's number 24. Bearer, the freshman.
6'3", the babyface assassin.
Under 45 seconds to play here in the first half. Norfleet puts the floater up, missed it. Cobo couldn't follow, and now Edinboro will have a chance. About a 4-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. 3 ball, missed, rebound to Brogdon. Shot, missed that time as well, and Bearer controlled it. And that was Darian Robinson who had the chance at the follow. Shot clock turned off. IUP has a chance for the last shot. Norfleet.
Take their time here.
Exactly, Norfleet holding. Norfleet working off the Ubede screen in the lane, can't get the shot. And that will be the end of the first half. Pretty entertaining first half here at the KCAC. IUP leads Edinboro 48-35. We're going to take a break here on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network. When we return, halftime stats, analysis, highlights, and an interview with head coach Joe Lombardi. So don't go away. We've got plenty more basketball coming your way tonight on IUP TV, streaming live on backlighttv.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to ask you to turn your attention to the court. We're pleased to welcome back the campus.
To compete for a championship in stadiums full with cheering fans and families. To give back. To say thank you for your support. To learn, grow, and prepare for the future. Ask any NCAA student athlete what they want, and this is what they'll tell you. Ask these student athletes, and they'll say with pride, I chose Division II.
Welcome back. Halftime at the KCAC. Let's go over some halftime statistics. Jake, what stands out to you?
Well, I mean, the scoreboard in particular. IUP has 48 points in the first half, on pace for 96 points. They're shooting it extremely effectively, 54.1% from the field. Edinboro has the edge from the free throw line, 10 of 11. IUP holds the edge in the boards, 17-15. Also the edge in assists, 10-7. And IUP has half the turnovers the Fighting Scots do. The Fighting Scots have 12 turnovers in the first half.
Let's look at the top performers from the first half. There was a lot of guys that played a big impact in this game. And one thing that stood out to me is Jamin Mason didn't have the greatest half scoring, but he did lead Edinboro in assists.
Yeah, he did. I mean, 3 assists is okay, but they're going to need a little bit more out of Mason from the scoring end. Beck leading the Fighting Scots with 8 points. And kind of unorthodox to see the Fighting Scots getting most of their points from the inside.
And
their guards are very, very talented.
Absolutely. And before we hear from head coach Joe Lombardi, let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard real quick and get some scores from around the Atlantic region. There were a couple of really big games here, and you see West Liberty and Wheeling Jesuit held on the top two teams projected in the Atlantic region.
Yeah, West Liberty putting up 111 points against Shepherd, but we're going to send it down now to Tegan because she's there with Coach Lombardi.
Down to
in the second half to keep this lead?
Well, it's going to all start and stop at the defensive end. If we get stops on the defensive end, we'll get out in transition. Good things will happen on offense. But they're a very explosive team, got some great scorers, so we're going to have to make a lot of good plays. They'll make some tough shots, so we can't give them easy ones.
How are you able to limit Chapman and Mason?
Just good at one-on-one defense and preparation. Guys are prepared, and it was good one-on-one defense.
Okay, thank you so much. Back to you guys off in the nest.
Tegan, and thanks so much to Coach Joe Lombardi. Second half action ready to go. You saw the scoreboard. We'll go over the Atlantic region projections a little bit later on in our broadcast because it's never too early to start thinking about the NCAA tournament, Jake.
It's never too early. You know, IUP has already clinched a spot in the big dance, but you know they can really move up and down with the up and down of the seeding overall in the last couple games of the season. They're only going to be back at the KCAC one more time. And they certainly like to play here.
Certainly do. Edinboro's not won a game in Indiana since the 2007-2008 season. It's been a long haul for the Fighting Scots. They haven't won a game in this building since it opened against the IUP Crimson Hawks.
Yeah, they've had their fair share of woes in the KCAC, and they really have to turn it around in the second half to make it a different story moving forward. I mean, they're down 13 points here. IUP has really been flying around on the offensive side of the ball with 48 points in the first half. That's just incredible.
Cobo Diaz starts the second half. Norfleet catches and shoots. No good. Rebound to Beck.
Yeah, he had to fade away there. Not sure he wanted to do that, but shot's a little bit off.
Here is Andre Wade Chapman. He'll pull up for three. No good. Too strong that time. Glover countering back for IUP.
Still slow start for Chapman here. He only had one field goal attempted in the first half. And boy, if you want to make a bucket, you got to take a bucket.
Ubede open inside. Lays it up and in.
Just makes it look so easy underneath the basket.
See Daddy Ubede, and a lot of post players in this conference have the ability to score with either hand, which makes them that much more dangerous.
Not too many better shoot it better than Daddy, though. 71.9%.
Beck off the glass. He can't convert. Rebound out of bounds will go to IUP.
Yeah, just off the fingertips there of Quinn Lee Yaw. And he's had himself a pretty solid game coming off the bench as Quinn Lee.
7 points right now. Very efficient as well.
3 for 4 from the field.
Cobo to Norfleet. Has a lane to the basket and takes it.
Just easy. And man, you see down there, Jamon Mason just looks frustrated. He just stopped dead in his tracks, put his head down and looked at his teammate shaking his head. And it's got to be frustrating, you know. You lose 2 in a row. You're a top 3 team in your division and just hasn't been going your way recently. And
offensive foul there. Speaking of not going your way, Pat Cleary doesn't agree. He's giving the official an earful right now. Daddy Ubede takes the charge.
Anything can happen in this game yet. Still 18.5 minutes, so Edinboro really has to keep their head up here. They do have 2 of the top 5 scorers in the PSAC West. They got to remember that.
So here are the IUP Crimson Hawks controlling the ball right now. Cobo Diaz working it right side to Norfleet. Ubede couldn't corral the pass. It's a turnover. Mason countering back for Edinboro. Slam dunk there. What a take to the basket by Quinn Lee Yaw. One hand with authority.
Yeah, it looks like he was taking a little bit of the team frustration out on the rim there, and pretty powerful finish off of one leg.
So Edinboro looking to trap IUP here at half court. Matchup man-to-man defense for the Fighting Scots. Glover looked inside for Ubede and works it to him. Daddy on the near block. Spin move the other way. Foul call. Daddy Ubede tried to go baseline. It wasn't there, so he went the other way.
He's back to the line again, and he's been pretty good so far from the line. Two for 3 from the charity stripe, shooting right around 69% from the free throw line this year.
Jake, you had mentioned it earlier at halftime, but the IUP Crimson Hawks are back at home only one more time this year in the regular season as they welcome the Pitt Johnstown Mountain Cats to town. That will be our final broadcast of the regular season on February 17th. So we started doing games and we've just motored on through them. We're really winding down here into the regular season.
Luckily for IUP, the game doesn't stop at the end of the regular season. As find themselves in the midst of a tournament bid.
Mason, he's guarded by Kobo, works it right side to Wade Chapman. Inside, Quinley Yaw kicks it out. Beck will try for 3. It's short. Norfleet counters back. Kobo, what a move.
Oh, there it is.
Beautiful move by Kobo Diaz in transition. Timeout on the floor called by Edinboro, and Kobo Diaz is putting in that work.
2 big dunks in this game by Kobo. And you look here, he just little over the head move and into the bucket for Kobo Diaz. He started the game off with the first 3 buckets, had another one in the first half there, and now he's up to 10 points for the Crimson Hawks, and he also has the Crimson Hawk high in rebounds, 5.
Full timeout on the floor, so we're going to take a break on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. 56-37, IUP on top. We'll be back with more men's basketball action on IUP TV, streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why.
These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful
We're back on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. Ball ready for play, and we're going to keep on rolling here as Jamin Mason controls for Edinboro. Under 17 minutes to play here in half number 2. That's Wade Chapman driving and scoring his first 2 points of the night. Andre Wade Chapman, it took him this long to score.
Yeah, very frustrating night so far for the number 4 scorer in the PSAC West here. I mean, Chapman hasn't had the ball much to shoot it. 1 for 3 from the field.
What a find. Glover, Charles, and that's 2.
There's Rudisill, great story in his own, getting the bucket there.
So here's Michael Beck. He's guarded by Dante Lombardi. Wade Chapman knifes inside, pulls up, and missed everything that time.
I mean, Kobo's just too tall. You can't see over top of him, but Edinboro still gets the bucket inside there.
Quinley Yaw comes away with the lay-in that time.
And Quinley Yaw might be the best player for Edinboro tonight. I mean, he has 11 points already.
Off the bench. Norfleet, too hot to handle.
Too hot, too high, a little bit outside of the reach of Rudisill.
We're going to take another break on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network at the 15:51 mark of the second half. IUP up by 17, trying to hold on when we return on IUP TV, streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
Ever since I can remember, I have loved theater and I have loved acting. I also have a passion for working with kids with special needs. Indiana University of Pennsylvania helped make both of my dreams come true. I'm Trisha Ray Stahl. I'm a 1998 graduate of IUP and I'm a working actress. I have a recurring role on Fox Television's Glee, and I also work with kids with special needs. IUP, find your success.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong.
Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Action Team! Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
Welcome back to the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. And Jake, it's never too early to talk the NCAA tournament. This is coming into action today, but you see, Wheeling Jesuit, West Liberty came away victorious, so they're going to add themselves. Right now, our projections have IUP at number 6. This is in the NCAA tournament, not the PSAC tournament.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive to see that they are in the top 10 of all NCAA D2 teams there. And I mean, IUP, 11 straight, looking for 12 straight today. Had a rough start, but they've really righted the ship, and they seem to be as dangerous as last year's team.
It's been another great year for West Liberty, currently ranked 6th in the nation right now in all of Division II basketball. Of course, remember the Atlantic Region Final last year for IUP. Brandon Norfleet hitting the shot, sending the Crimson Hawks to the Elite 8. And defeating West Liberty on their home court, which is something that not a lot of teams do. Not a lot of teams beat West Liberty at all. So they're certainly right back into the mix of things. But the Crimson Hawks, they can keep on rolling, looking for another NCAA tournament berth.
And this year's team, they have a very strong belief in themselves. I got the chance to talk to Brandon Norfleet a couple weeks ago after they beat, I do believe it was Seton Hill, and he said, you know, this team is nothing like the team last year, but they do have, you know, he is the experienced veteran. He accepted that role moving forward. But they feel like they can make a deep run again this year.
Foul away from the basket. Here, so C.J. Rudisil picks up the foul call. It's a 58-42 IUP lead. Both teams with 2 team fouls here in the second half. Yes. Mason driving in the lane, kicks it out to Michael Beck. Guarded by Lombardi, lost it momentarily, gets it back. Quinley Yaw, jump stop in the lane, missed the shot, rebound that time by Darian Robinson.
C.J. Rudisil got the rebound there, and he's up to 3 personal fouls there as he...
Tevin Hanner lost his footing a bit there. He lost his edge, went tumbling to the floor. He looks all right. Darian Robinson's going to pick up the foul call. Team's third. Lombardi will inbound right of the basket. Hanner's open, spins in the lane, missed the shot, and the rebound controlled by Yaw.
Rudisil came flying in at the tail end of that play and tried to make a difference, but...
Glover knifed the ball away from Beck as he was driving, and now here he comes the other way. Glover stops in the lane, hits the jump shot, so Anthony Glover showing you exactly why he's making a case for player of the game, because he made a play on the defensive end and got rewarded for it on the offensive end.
And Glover had options there. Hanner was looking for the ball. I'm sure he wanted to put one of his emphatic dunks on the board, but, you know, 2 points is 2 points, and now Glover's up to 15.
15-footer that time by Darian Robinson. Mason has 5 assists in this game, so we do have to give credit to Jamin Mason, not taking anything away. You know, IUP game planned against him, but he hasn't had a great night scoring 8 points. However, he has contributed in other ways, and he's going to lead the charge right now for the Fighting Scots. That's foul call on Norfleet, and that's going to be his 3rd.
That was a hard foul there on Chapman by Norfleet there. Both players just tumbled to the ground at pretty close to full speed there. It's good to see both players getting up and seem to be okay.
Ubede and Spain return for IUP. Mikael Anderson makes his way back into the game for Edinboro. Little jump stop, shot's no good, rebound to Hanner. Darian Robinson had all the time in the world, but missed the shot. Glover for three.
And he's
feeling
got it.
Bang! That's Anthony Glover.
4 for 6 from three, 7 of 10 from the field. Having a good game. That momentum that he was shooting lights out at shoot-around today, and that looks like it carried around to the game.
Glover's added 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Pass is stolen. Wade Chapman, though, stepped out of bounds, I believe.
That's just sloppy if he did. It doesn't look like it's a timeout, so he must have stepped out of bounds.
Yes, he did. And the bench was right there.
Boy, what a rough game for Chapman here. 1 of 4, just nothing going his way. 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls already, only 2 points.
Lombardi has it. Brandon Norfleet on the bench right now for IUP, which is a rare sight.
Well, you know, now's the time to rest your star player when you're up by near 20 points.
Pass is stolen, and there's Andre Wade Chapman with a lane to the basket. Body control in the lane, counted, and the foul. Andre Wade Chapman starting to get back into it now.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, it's not over until the fat lady sings here. There's still 13 minutes left in this game. Edinboro can pull something together here, and they're going to need Chapman to be a crucial part of that comeback if they want it to happen.
Chapman at the line for Edinboro. Averages 20 points per game on the dot. He's 80% from the free throw line this season.
Gets the and one on that last play. He's kind of got the and one headband too.
True. There's an and one for Daddy Ubede.
It's back and forth, you know. Edinboro tries to make a step, but IUP's right back to answer, and that's kind of been the story of the game.
Daddy Ubede will go to the line, try and complete the old-fashioned three-point play in a 65-47 IUP lead.
Yeah, this is the 4th time Ubede's been at the line this game. He's 4 for 5 from the free throw line today, which is well over his season average.
12:52 remaining.
Make it another one, 5 of 6.
Efficient, very efficient indeed is Daddy Ubede. Here's Wade Chapman, he's guarded by Glover. Switch inside, Quinley Yaw. Up he goes, foul call. Ubede will pick up his second.
Yeah, that was a nice pick and roll there by Quinley Yaw. Just a little too slow to get the pass to him, and he might have hesitated a second there, but he is going to get to the free throw line, and I guess you make him earn it the hard way.
Ubede picks up his second, 15th foul for IUP. Quinley Yaw, a 63% free throw shooter, but he misses that one.
I mean, Quinley Yaw has been Edinboro's most effective player this game, one could argue, and coming off the bench, he's provided at least some sort of a scoring threat for Edinboro.
Spain works it to Glover. Bounce pass, Ubede lost it momentarily, gets it back, and he's fouled. IUP got up the floor in a hurry. And a couple of fans beginning to gather their coats and head out of here a bit early because the Crimson Hawks are well in control of the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, up by 18 points here with 12:30 to go. I mean, anything is possible in basketball, but I mean, everything IUP's doing right now is right. I mean, they've had an answer for everything that Edinboro has shown them, and that's why they find themselves on top and by a pretty large margin.
Yeah, and anytime Edinboro has a chance to claw into this lead and try to get back into the game, IUP counters with a run of their own and takes all the wind out of Edinboro's sails. Jamin Mason running the point for Edinboro. 8 points tonight and 5 assists.
He's doing most of his work from the charity stripe, 5 of 6, but he's able to get that one in.
Quinley Yaw driving baseline and getting it to go for 2. Makes it an 18-point game. Lombardi running the point. Norfleet still on the bench for IUP. Cobo, left side to Lombardi. Lombardi had the ball knifed away from him. Lead pass ahead to Wade Chapman. He'll pull up and miss the shot. Rebound goes to Glover, and back and forth we go. Here's Lombardi. High off the glass, he missed the shot there, and Edinboro's gonna try to counter back with numbers. Wade Chapman carves inside, draws contact, foul call on Spain. Aggressive take there. We're gonna take a break on the Crimson Hawks Sports Network with the Crimson Hawks leading by 18. What a night it's been for the IUP men's basketball squad, looking for win number 12 in a row. We'll be back on IUP TV, and we're streaming live on backlighttv.com.
I did everything right. I went to college, graduated with honors, but I'm just not getting to where I want to be. I need to get to the next level. What am I missing? Where are these people going? What do they have that I don't? How do I get that edge, that hands-on experience that will put me ahead of the competition? Graduate school at Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
The environment is my passion. Every day, I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at gocoastguard.com.
Welcome back to the Crimson Hawks Sports Network. PSAC West standings. IUP has clinched a tournament berth, and there's a couple of other big scores in the PSAC because Mercyhurst, the second-place team, is in a battle with Clarion right now. 47-46 in the second half. Edinboro at number 3. A loss would really drop them, and if the Crimson Hawks can continue winning, they continue to build this lead. With a Mercyhurst loss and an IUP win, they'd be up 4 games on the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, right now, they are one of the hottest teams in Division II men's basketball. I mean, they're going to walk out of here probably getting 12 straight wins. I mean, nothing can stop them right now, it looks like. They have an answer for everything that's, brought in front of them, and just look very impressive.
Another big result in the PSAC Western Division saw Gannon defeat UPJ in overtime, 80-79. Kutztown continues to win. Came away with an 81-78 victory over Shippensburg earlier today. East Stroudsburg took it to Cheney 104-62. Bloomsburg defeated Mansfield 79-71.
Handful of interesting games mixed in there.
Cobo for 3, no good. We'll go to Edinboro, 11:30 remaining. IUP has a 68-51 lead, and it's a really nice crowd tonight at the KCAC. Paid attendance of 2,501.
It's pretty impressive.
IUP leading the conference in attendance. Wade Chapman going to work. Quinley Yaw from 16, yes.
Oh, there's Quinley Yaw again. The guy's name just keeps coming up, and he's at 14 points now, coming off the bench, shooting 16 points now, shooting very effectively, 7-9 from the field. I mean, he's been a bright spot for what's been a pretty dark Edinboro team.
Here is Norfleet. Look for Daddy on the cut. Instead, works it around the perimeter. IUP has 7 to work with. Ubede gets it back. He is going to get called for the offensive foul, I believe. Yes, he will. That's going to be his third.
I don't understand that at all, but hey, whatever the refs say.
Neither does Coach Lombardi. 7th team foul on IUP.
I mean, if anything, it looked like he should have been going back to the line. It looked like he had contact on his shooting arm there, but IUP still leads it by a cool 15 points. Edinboro is starting to dig a little bit into this lead, I guess,
Here's Lombardi, he's wide open, and he makes Edinboro pay.
Boy, you can't do that. You can't leave Dante Lombardi that wide open. You can't leave anybody on this team that wide open. Dante Lombardi just loves shooting threes. Sometimes it looks like he's almost more comfortable shooting that NBA range three, you know, a couple steps
taking
back.
a lay-in, yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that for sure.
He's definitely a fun player to watch and a bright point for IUP's future. You know, only being a freshman, he shown a lot of poise here in his rookie campaign.
Andre Wade Chapman, Norfleet had the ball knifed away. Quinn Lee Yaw says,
And Brandon Norfleet says, scoreboard.
Back in for Edinboro, it's Jalen Head. The IUP women came away with a big victory tonight as well. It was a 73-60 effort, moving the women to 16-6. We'll talk a little bit more about that game later on tonight.
Yeah, coming off a loss for the IUP women, being able to rebound and get a win tonight is very big for them.
Norfleet short on the shot. Edinboro countering back 3-on-1 left side. Wade Chapman counted and the foul. No, they're going to call an offensive foul. Andre Wade Chapman can't believe it.
Bench with their antics again.
Could go either way. The officials give IUP the call. Kind of the story of the night for Edinboro. Just can't seem to get anything going.
The kids with the best seat in the house and getting the floor dried off there.
And getting a little bit of screen time.
And Dante Lombardi is very good at taking that charge too. We see him take at least one a game, it seems like.
So impressive to see what the freshman can do. The stage is not too big for him at all, coming in as a freshman.
And with the expectations of being, you know, coach's son, he's really earned the respect of his teammates and fans of the Crimson Hawks. He's not just the player's son, he's a pretty good player.
Wade Chapman all the way to the basket. He can't finish, but he will go to the line. That's on Daddy Ubede, and that's his fourth. So Ubede in a bit of trouble here. Team eighth. Kobo's going to relieve him. So Andre Wade Chapman to the line, and he's started to pick it up a little bit here in the second half, now with 8 points.
Could be too little and too late for Edinboro here, but at least he's getting something going here.
Kobo Diaz.
Edinboro is doing their best to cut into this lead, but IUP just has an answer for everything they do.
So Wade Chapman will try to convert the back end of the two shots here. 71-55. Wade Chapman knocks it down. Currently on the floor for Edinboro, it's Andre Wade Chapman, Jamin Mason, Mikhail Anderson, Quinn Lee Yaw, Jalen Head. For IUP, Anthony Glover, Brandon Norfleet, Kobo, Tevin Hanner, and Dante Lombardi.
You know, 8 minutes left in this game here, but Norfleet's streak of 20 points in his last 7 games is in jeopardy here.
Yes, it is.
Has 12 points, still got 8 minutes to go, but I mean, a pretty impressive personal streak. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll tell you that he's just happy the team got a win.
I get a foul call before the shot there. Kobo to the line. Kobo Diaz on Wednesday had a intentional foul called as he stole the ball, took off towards the basket, was held up. He went to the line, missed both the foul shots, but he's come back and responded at the line here tonight, has Kobo Diaz.
Perfect. Yeah, he's knocked down those two right there. His first 2 free throws of the night, and I mean, that's good to see. That those 2 missed free throws could have really come back and bit IUP last game, but you know, Brandon Spain with the epitome of clutch, able to get the game winner there.
Some late game heroics for IUP, gave them 11 victories in a row. Not nearly as nerve-wracking right now for fans of IUP.
I mean, that's good, you know, give their hearts a little break here and get IUP another win here, probably.
73-56. And we are going to step out here for a media timeout. IUP is taking it to Edinboro in impressive fashion. We'll be back with the final moments of this one here on IUP TV, streaming live on backlighttv.com.
To compete for a championship in stadiums full with cheering fans and families. To give back. To say thank you for your support. To learn, grow, and prepare for the future. Ask any NCAA student athlete what they want, and this is what they'll tell you. Ask these student athletes, and they'll say with pride, I chose Division II.
All your professors, all of them, they know that all it takes is one dreamer with passion, one person, and they hope in each of you that you might be that one who makes a longer-lasting light bulb, who writes music for the ages, who reaches into the mind and discovers a new star, and who can change the world of a fifth grader. We're gathered here to hope in you.
We're back, and much like the IUP Crimson Hawks right now, you can stay connected with us no matter where you are by liking us on Facebook. Just search IUP TV Sports for game stories, highlights, and full games. All that and much more on the IUP TV Sports Facebook page. Edinboro inbounding the basketball right now, trying to get back into this game. Wade Chapman misses. Norfleet corrals the board and sends it down. IUP in no hurry right now. Dante Lombardi controls.
Brandon Norfleet looked like Odell Beckham Jr. with that rebound there, stretching out one-handed to grab it.
Impressive. Norfleet is open, fires for three, no good. Rebound to Edinboro. They're going to counter back. They're pushing the pace here. Nice pass. Quinn Lee Yaw with the right hand, lays it up and in.
It's been a frustrating game for IUP star Brandon Norfleet. I mean, shooting 5 of 18 from the field. It's usually very good from the field. Shoots about 49%, but tonight's been frustrating. Luckily, there have been others to fill the role of leading scorer. I mean, Glover himself at 18 points, 4 of 6 from 3.
Glover's going to try for three this time. He's got it. That's Anthony Glover.
Now 5 of 7 from 3.
Glover now tying a career high with 21 points. That came at Kutztown very early on in the season. He's tied his career high now with a lot of time left. Foul call there is Scales, who's been very quiet other than the early going, Jake. Will go to the line.
Yeah, I mean, he started off quick. Him and Cobo Diaz went back and forth for the first 13 points of the game. You know, he had 7 points right off the bat, but, I mean, he's really slowed down now. He's still at 7 points. Hasn't scored anything since the first about 5 minutes of the game. Now, we saw 2 career highs broken today. I mean, in the women's game earlier, Marina Warham, she got her career high there with 24 points. Previous was 21. And he misses there. Adding insult to injury there for Edinboro.
Here's Glover to the lane. Missed the shot, but he's going to have a chance for a new career high. Will Anthony Glover with 21 points. Just needs one. And it's been a great performance. You mentioned about Norfleet, his 20-point game is in jeopardy, but when you have 2 other players leading the way in double figures as well, Cobo has 12, 3 other players, mind you. Cobo has 12, Daddy's got 15, and Glover now has a new career high of 22 points.
And they're all shooting it very effectively. I mean, let's start with Glover here. 8 of 11 from the field. Then you go down to Cobo, who's 5 of 7, and Daddy Ubede is 4 of 5, along with 7 of 8 from the charity stripe, which is well above his season average. So really, the cast has shined today for IUP.
3 ball coming is no good. Foul away from the basket. And I did want to make mention coming in. I knew that Jamin Mason was tremendous from the foul line. He connected from 10 of 11 foul shots against Slippery Rock. He's got 122 on the season. 11th most in school history. He has 5 more here today, does Jamin Mason. 5 of 6 at the line. He only needs 12 more free throws to break the single season school record that was set by Billy Wade way back in 1989-90. So Jamin Mason, he can score in a variety of ways, and he hurts you whenever he gets to the foul line as well.
Yeah, unfortunately today we didn't really get to see a full repertoire of his skills because he's only shot at 1 from 9 from the field. But he's hurting you from the free throw line, getting 5 of his 8 points there. He's shooting 5 of 6 from the free throw line, so hurting you there a little bit. But I'm sure if you ask him, he's disappointed in his performance here tonight.
Approaching the 6-minute mark in our telecast here this evening. Second game of our doubleheader. Brandon Spain going to come back in, check in for Glover. Let's talk a little bit about the IUP women's basketball team here, because they came away with a 73-60 victory over Edinboro. IUP moved to 16-6. Edinboro dropped to 16-8. You mentioned Marina Wareham and her tremendous effort, but there were 3 other players who got into double figures for IUP, helping to secure the victory.
Yeah, Janae Brooks had 14 points and 10 rebounds, getting herself a double-double. Leslie Stapleton was able to put in 10 points, and Megan Smith also with 14 points. So IUP had 4 players go for 10 or more points that game, and I do believe they're now 5-1 when that happened. So a good game for the women as they bounce back from a loss their last time out.
Mason at the line trying to chip in to that record, and he does so. So now just 11 free throws away from becoming the school's all-time lead here in foul shots made in a season. Don't think he'll achieve that mark here, but definitely a good chance to do that this season. Mason, good on the second.
Yeah, I'd say he has a pretty good chance of breaking that record next game, as he already has 7 of 8 this game for the free throw line. So
here is Norfleet. Surges ahead, count it.
Travel.
No, he traveled.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good call. He did travel. It was an unbelievable take for Norfleet to get the basket to go, but all for naught. Travel call.
One too many steps there for Brandon Norfleet.
Turnover number 9 on the half. IUP has 15 turnovers. Edinboro's only turned the ball over 4 times here in this second half, accounting for 16 turnovers.
Yeah, Edinboro had a hard time holding on to the ball in the first half, but righted the ship here in the second half. It's just unfortunately, looks like it's a little too late as IUP's up by 18 right now.
Andre Wade Chapman getting into double figures with that field goal. Now 11 points.
He's got all his points here in the second half. It's held to 0 in the first half. And
Coach Lombardi mentioned, he said they're going to knock down some shots, and they knew that, and that's exactly what Andre Wade Chapman did. Norfleet rises up off the glass. That's no good. And Wade Chapman's going to counter back for Edinboro. 2-on-2 the other way. In the lane. Step through, lays it up and in. That's Andre Wade Chapman, 13 now.
Yeah, Brandon Norfleet only 5 of 19 from the field today. But IUP has done it in different ways.
Lombardi running the point right now for the Crimson Hawks. Glover on the bench. Here's Lombardi. Kicks it near corner 3. Kobo, yes! We've got a whistle.
If that holds up, that's 15 points.
Tommy Scale is going to get called for a foul so he can count the baskets. We're going to take a break, I believe. Let's take a look at Kobo knocking it down.
That was a great no-look pass by Lombardi there, too, to find the open man in the corner, and that's really what Kobo is good at, just knocking down those corner threes.
Tommy Scales fouls out of the game, actually. That's his 5th, team 9th. IUP is already at 10 team fouls, so Edinboro will be shooting the rest of the way, as will the Crimson Hawks, with 4:52 remaining. IUP and Edinboro went back and forth. You mentioned Scales and Kobo went back and forth, but after that, IUP took the lead, never looked back.
Yeah, they really have done a good job of just putting the pedal to the metal here against Edinboro, and the pace that they had in the first half, it was 48-35 or so, I do believe. And I mean, whenever you're on pace to score 96 points, they're at 81 right now. Still a chance they can get to 90. I mean, you're not going to lose too many games when you're putting up that many points.
Here's Anthony Glover. He's our choice for player of the game right now. We'll see if somebody else can come in and outshine him, but right now we're going to say Anthony Glover is the leader in the clubhouse.
But I mean, just look at these shooting stats for the Crimson Hawks here. Shooting 52.6% from the field, 55.6% from three, 10 of 18 from the three-point line. It's pretty incredible. The Crimson Hawks can pat themselves on the back for a tremendous shooting performance here tonight.
And 80 is kind of the magic number for IUP, because when they score 80 points, they are 8-0 this season. That's really that's a lot to ask for a team to go out and score 80 points every night. Obviously, with scores such as Norfleet and New Bede and others, it's possible, but there are two teams on the court. But IUP, that's kind of the number there, 80 points, 8-0, and they're looking to move to 9-0 after this one. Norfleet all alone will send it down.
The crowd erupts there. And he still has a chance to get his 20.
14 right now. Needs a couple more baskets. Mason got a whistle and a foul call. It's going to be a push that time on Glover. And that will only be his first. Largest lead of the game for Edinboro was when they had it 7-6 early on. IUP is taking control.
They just haven't looked back. And I mean, it really started when Glover hit that first three. And then, you know, he just kept knocking them down. He had 15 at the half. And you mentioned it too, you know, Diaz, Ubede, you know, those other guys there, able to put up double-digit points from the bench. And I mean, Kobo getting the nod because Hanner was hurt last game, but just a good performance by the Crimson Hawks as a team.
Full court press for Edinboro, trying to force the issue here. IUP breaks it with relative ease, and they're just going to try to milk this clock. A lot of people expected a great game, ourselves included, but sometimes a team just comes out and you can't stop them on a given night, and that seems like it's the IUP Crimson Hawks. Kobo, that's great defense by Mikhail Anderson, but when guys hit shots, you really are just left scratching your head sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Kobo Diaz has to be pretty close to his career high. I'm looking here, and it says he's 20 points against Cheney is his career high, and right now he's at 17 points. So a chance for two Crimson Hawks to surpass their career highs, as we saw Glover do so earlier in the half, and now Kobo Diaz with a chance to maybe tie or break his season high.
Final media timeout of the night comes at the 3:44 mark. We're going to step out, come back with the conclusion of this one. IUP's been nothing short of impressive, and we'll have the finish for you here on IUP TV, streaming live on BacklightTV.com.
Nothing ever gonna make this world better if we don't start believing that love really, really, really is the answer. Everybody join hands, cause it's time now. Spread the love all over the world. Spread it all over the world.
When I was in high school, I didn't know where I wanted to go to college. But I did know I wanted a major with job potential, and a campus that felt like the right place for me. I chose IUP. I'm studying on a beautiful campus with great professors who focus on student success and 140 academic majors. I'm Megan Spangler. I study nursing. Find your success at IUP.
Welcome back to the Crimson Hawks Sports Network, and IUP after this game's going to hit the road, visit Clarion. He came away with a big win if they can get it, up 59-53 on Mercyhurst right now, would move them to 500 on the season.
Yeah, kind of a middle of the pack year for Clarion, but they do IUP a favor if they knock off Mercyhurst. Right now, clinging to a 5-point lead with a minute and a half to go is Clarion.
Head coach Joe Lombardi talked post-game at Mercyhurst against the challenges of the PSAC. said the top and bottom, there's not a lot of separation between them, and right now you're seeing it here with Clarion and Mercyhurst. Clarion up by 5 here, under a minute to go. We'll see if you can get a final of that one and certainly pass it along to you. Norfleet inside to Tevin Hanner. Works in the lane, gets it up and in.
Yeah, they're closing in here. IUP looks like they're going to go over 90 points. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get 100 here.
That's Quinley Yaw knocking the long-range jumper down. Two-pointer has Quinley Yaw up to 20 points. He's been phenomenal for Edinboro tonight. Lombardi sends it ahead to Glover, and Glover's going to slow it back down a little bit.
Yeah, if you're IUP, no real need to push the subject or anything. Just take your time, run some time off of this clock, and just get out of here in one piece.
7 on the shot clock. Glover open, he'll fire for 3, and he'll miss it.
In and out there for Glover. I'm sure he would have liked to have that one. Would have made it 26.
Blocking foul. Send Edinboro to the line. There's Norfleet, picked up his 4th.
Foul is on Brandon Norfleet. Brandon is 4th.
So right now, barring any changes, we're going to say Anthony Glover, our player of the game here tonight. New career high, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals as well for Anthony Glover. So he's gotten it done on all facets of the game.
And 0 turnovers. Not something you pay too much attention to unless somebody has a lot of them, but Glover's done a great job of taking care of the ball tonight, and that's why he's our player of the game today.
He collects his 12th double-figure scoring game. He's going to check out for IUP, probably for the remainder of the contest. Cobo to Brandon Spain. They're going to reset here. Anthony Glover, the transfer from Chicago State, has really begun to find his niche for IUP. Norfleet rises up, knocks it down, and Brandon Norfleet with a chance.
This is the second time this season IUP's gone over 90 points now at 91 points. The other time was at Cheney.
Brandon Norfleet going to check out. His streak of 20-point games will come to an end tonight, but still an incredible effort. Wade Chapman, Andre Wade Chapman.
A kind of dunk.
Very high percentage that time for Andre Wade Chapman, and give him credit. After a really slow first half, he has come out and tried to do everything he could to keep Edinboro in this game. But time running out for the Fighting Scots. Greg Bearer, here we go. No good.
A little bit too much on the shot there from the freshman.
It's going to go IUP's direction. Brandon Spain working on the back check. 91-72, 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. And here comes Chris McConnell into the basketball game for the IUP Crimson Hawks. So Spain will check out as Coach Lombardi removes his stars. McConnell, the son of women's basketball head coach Tom McConnell.
Yeah, this is his 5th game that he's played in this season.
Cobo.
If you want to look at something impressive, he's got a 100% field goal percentage.
There we go. And Cobo, he's got a pretty good field goal percentage from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Cobo just tied his career high there at 20 points, so he might be able to break his career high tonight.
Foul call. Dante Lombardi picks up his 3rd. And Anthony Rocco ready to come into the basketball game for IUP. Rocco, the senior out of Northern Cambria Heritage Conference team. Speaking of the Heritage Conference, Jake, you may not know a lot about it, but the local conference here in Indiana, the Homer Center Wildcats are on fire. 19-0 start to the season for the Homer Center boys basketball team. Pretty impressive under head coach Bob Rado. A couple of members of that team in the house tonight. I saw them walk in.
Congratulations to them. Anytime you start off 19-0, I mean, it's pretty hard to complain about anything.
Edinboro going to send in some reserves as well and get everybody out of the game. And try to pad the box score, get everybody some minutes.
Yeah, they got 5 substitutions there, but they might need to wait a minute for the foul shooter to take his shots.
They won't be able to complete the foul shooter until Andre Wade Chapman finishes his attempt. So for Edinboro, Darian Robinson into the game, as is Michael Sims. Also, Art Cook makes his way into the basketball game for Edinboro. Tevin Hanner shakes hands with Coach Lombardi as we wind down on our doubleheader this evening. Pretty impressive night for the IUP Crimson Hawks basketball program. And the streak for Edinboro is still here. Rocco's gonna put up a 3 ball, no good.
It was bouncing around there for a minute. I thought
that would have been very anticlimactic there.
Boy, and if you wanted to see a good celebration from this IUP bench, Anthony Rocco is he's a staple in that team. I think he's one of the guys that come up with all those creative sideline, dances and things that they do in celebration. So, his teammates have a lot of love for him, and it would have been nice to see him knock down that 3.
Well, it's all over but the shouting tonight. We're going to have Teagan catch up with Anthony Glover here post-game. We're going to preview Clarion once again, take a look at IUP's next opponent as we wind down on a 94-73 IUP Crimson Hawks victory. 12 wins in a row. UPJ is our next broadcast. That's February 17th. Teams will shake hands, and Jake, you got any final thoughts of this one? IUP was very impressive.
Boy, I'd hate to go and play this team right now. They are by far the hottest team in their division, and they put up their season high in points as a team tonight with 94 against a pretty good team. I mean, Edinboro is the number 3 team in this conference, and they pretty much handily dealt with them. IUP will salute, break huddle, salute the fans, and then we're going to try to catch up with Anthony Glover here as we wrap up a 94-73 IUP victory. It was just a really impressive showing from the Crimson Hawks. I mean, I don't know where to start. They shot it very well. 50% from the 3-point line, 53.8 from the field goal range, 81.3 from the free throw line. It's just all facets of the game were clicking for them. So Anthony Glover moseys his way on over. Bringing up the rear. We're going to have Teagan catch up with Anthony right now. Down to you, Teagan.
I'm here with Anthony Glover. Congratulations on your career high. How are you feeling?
It's just always good to get a W, So we came out, executed the game plan, started out on defense, and we did whatever we had to do to get it up. So it feels good.
Do you think now having a winning streak of 12 games adds any pressure on the team or the game itself?
Not really. We're not really thinking about that. We're just thinking about the next game. You feel me? So it's a big game because it's the next game. So we're just focusing on the next game at hand, and we're just going to let the coaches execute, get that game plan, and we're just going to try to execute it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Teagan Schreckengoss, we thank you for your updates all evening long. And before we sign off the air, let's take a look at Clarion, Jake. They're the next opponent for the IUP Crimson Hawks. The Crimson Hawks will travel away from the friendly confines to face Clarion, currently leading by 2 against Mercyhurst with just under 20 seconds to go. So Clarion poised to knock off one of the leaders in the PSAC Western Division. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's 15 seconds left here. And Clarion is around 500 this season, 11-12. If they get the win tonight, that'll push them to 500. They're outscoring their opponents by a 3-point margin this season. And Andre the Giant, Anthony, with 13.8 points per game, he leads the team. And IUP will be facing off against Clarion on February 10th at 7:30. Right now, Andre Anthony's got 8 points against Mercyhurst right now. That's a 62-60 game. So we will wrap it up here on an IUP men's basketball night. Our next telecast comes your way February 17th for senior night. We'd like to thank our entire crew, directors Curtis Brown, everybody behind the scenes for Teagan Schreckengoss and Jake DeLuca. I'm Josh Hill, wishing you a very pleasant good night. Hope to see you right back here for senior night IUP UPJ. We'll see you next time on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network.